Look at any Pokemon TCG deck and you'll most likely see a Crobat V. It's a very popular card right now, and it will be staying in the format after rotation. So in today's video, I'm going to show you not just Crobat V, but some other ways to make the most of it and you properly use it in your deck. So we've got Crobat V pulled up here. It's got 180 HP and a dark type. Its dark asset ability is what it's really made for in any deck. It says when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. You can't use more than one dark asset ability each turn. So this is crazy. It's very similar to the Shaman EX from the XY era, but it's this dark asset ability. Even though it's a dark type, you can put it in any deck. But then we got Venomous Fang, just 70 damage, your opponent's active Pokemon is now poison. Not the greatest attack, but this amazing ability definitely makes up for it. But you may be wondering how many copies of Crobat V to put in your deck. And the answer is, it depends on what deck you're playing. If you're playing Eternatus VMAX, you'll definitely want to include 4 copies. Because what Crobat V does is it takes up space on the bench. And that's your goal of Eternatus, is to fill your bench with Pokemon. It also makes drawing cards of Eternatus very easy since the options are kind of limited for dark type drawing. Where if you're playing like a Pikachu and Zekrom deck or something else, you probably only want to stick to 2 or 1 copies of Crobat V just because it's not as necessary and can't be found as easily because it's not the corresponding type of your deck. Now Crobat doesn't end with just the V card. There's also a VMAX evolution from the Shining Fate set. So it gets some more HP, 300 HP, and then it has the Stealth Poison attack for 70 damage for that dark and colorless. It says your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Switch this Pokemon from your bench Pokemon. So that's kind of one of those hit and run attacks that you can do. And you've got Max Cutter for 2 dark energy and 1 colorless. So it does 180 damage. So that's not the greatest attack and it's not the best VMAX, but it is a pretty awesome attacker for like an Eternatus VMAX deck. One of the problems with Eternatus is your really only attacker in the deck, but if you include Crobat VMAX and you can dish out some more damage with that Crobat, then that makes the most of Crobat in the deck. You don't just have Crobat sitting on the bench, you can actually do a little bit more of it if you include maybe 1 or 2 copies of this VMAX card. There are some pros and cons to using Crobat V, so it's a little different from the Dene GX. The Dene GX told you to discard your hand and draw 6 cards, but Crobat V just says draw till you have 6. So this is good and bad. It's good because you don't have to get rid of some of those cards that you may want to keep in your hand, but then it's bad because you don't get to draw as many cards as you would with the Dene. The Dene, you're guaranteed to get 6 every time, but with Crobat, you might not get that all the time. You may only get 2 or 3. So there are some ways to work around this. One of those is using the switch trick. So what you can do with this is switch your active Pokemon to the bench, and then bring it back up with another switch, and that's cut down on your hand size by 2 cards. So that can let you draw some more cards with that Dark Acid ability. If you're playing Scoop Up Net in your deck, you can do the same trick as with the switch. You can scoop up a Pokemon, play it down, scoop it up again as many times as you need, so you can draw some more cards of Crobat. You can do the same with Energy Switch by moving energy from one of your Pokemon to the other and then moving it back to cut down on your hand size. So if you're looking to play physically with Crobat, the card singly is a little bit on the pricier side. I know it's gone down since it was released in Shining Fates as well as Darkness Ablaze, but there's an awesome way to get it now that the Trainer's Kit 2.0 has been released. You get 2 copies of Crobat V in that Trainer's Kit 2.0, as well as some packs and other cards to get you started building an awesome deck. And not gonna lie, this art is a lot better than this one from Shining Fates or Darkness Ablaze. I think this one is a lot cooler. It's got some more action on here with like those poison splats and stuff, but it does all the same stuff, so it's just kind of a cheaper way to get your Crobat Vs physically. When you want to find Crobat from your deck, Quickball is probably the best way to get it. There are some other ways, some supporter cards which we'll get to in a second, but in my opinion Quickball is the best way. It does come at the cost of discarding a card, but you can just easily grab that one Crobat. But it does kind of work out. We talked about reducing your hand size so you can draw more cards with Crobat, and one of those ways to do that is discarding cards with Quickball. So when you play Quickball, you discard one card to grab Crobat. You've taken 2 cards out of your hand, so that's an awesome way to reduce your hand size. One of the other ways you can find Crobat is with Peers. It was you search your deck for an energy card and a dark Pokemon, reveal them, put them into your hand. In my opinion, this isn't the best way to get Crobat, and I wouldn't use it personally because it takes up your supporter for the turn, and you can just easily grab it with Quickball. But if you want to find that energy as well, maybe you need dark energy, or one of the best things about this is you can find special energy as well. So Pierce is another option to find Crobat, but in my opinion, not the best option. It's important when assembling your deck with Crobat V to keep an eye on your item cards. So with this Crushing Hammer right here, you can pretty much just play it anytime because most of the time your opponent's going to have energy on their Pokemon. So this is a great card that you can just roll out almost any time, and that's awesome because it allows your deck to stay consistent. So you're consistently taking cards out of your hands, so you can draw more with Crobat V. So keep an eye on your item cards and make sure they're cards that you can just play immediately without having to have certain specifications out or certain Pokemon on the bench, stuff like that. This time Crobat V will be sitting on the bench, which makes it an easy target for cards that hit the bench with a lot of power, like Rapid Strike, Urshifu VMAX, or Pikachu and Zekrom. So including Keep Up Toughness isn't a bad idea. It gives your Crobat V a little bit extra health, so that way it can't get taken out by those bench attackers so easily. We talked about how many copies of Crobat V to include in your deck, and here's an example of that. We've got the deck that won the second Players' Cup here, this Pikachu and Zekrom that Zach Lesage piloted expertly. And we've got 1 copy of Crobat V in here. You can see because it is a lightning deck and not a dark type deck, you really only need 1 Crobat V. And then he's got 2 copies of the Dene GX in here, so you can see there's a little more of the Dene GX because it is a lightning type deck. So yeah, don't use as many Crobat V if you're not playing a dark deck. Well, that's it for Crobat V. I know this video was on the shorter side, but I hope you enjoyed it. Crobat V is an awesome card that's going to be sticking around after the rotation, and it's very playable right now. So I hope these tips and tricks helped you out. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of Crobat V and how you've been using it, and what are tips and tricks you use to draw more cards with its Dark Asset ability. Leave the video a like, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss new videos when they're uploaded. I upload every Monday and Thursday. And hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out. Well, that's going to do it for today. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, trainers.